We have people who have been rumored that JK has caused an injury at the camp and what that's about. We also have Jimin talking about JK's hand hurting, which has been on the reality show. And then we have people saying that V must not be part of the label anymore, or that he must be on leave or something. Say Dumplings is David Desai. Let's get into it. A lot of people have been really upset with the label after something recently just happened. So a lot of people are screaming mistreatment. They are upset that the label seemingly isn't treating V as well as the label has allegedly treated the other members. This all started as it seemed like V had won an award or was nominated for an award, and it was with his song Friends. And I think maybe one of the few awards that he's won with this song because he wasn't really around to promote it or even go to the award shows. Apparently for this same award and for this same company that's hosting this award, RM actually won one too. And people were bringing up the fact that the label had tweeted out RM's award but not tweeted out V. Now you can imagine where the mistreatment claims come from. Now people are saying that the label mistreats V because they don't tweet about him. And this isn't the first time, allegedly, that they haven't done that. And they often don't tweet about him and his accomplishments, and they're considering this to be sabotage. Now, as far as I know, this article that was talking about his achievement was just an article that was talking about an achievement. It wasn't a voting thing. It wasn't like people would be able to click in and vote for V in his song. It was literally an article that stated his achievement. So apparently the social media person that posted RM's achievement, but never posted V. There's a couple of thoughts that I have about this. First off, this is clearly the social media person's job. So that is first and foremost. And I think that people need to stop acting like whatever the social media person does is equivalent to how the label feels about a particular artist or whatever. I'm not saying this to say that the social media person hates V, but I'm saying that if the social media person does indeed make a mistake to forget to post or to do something that the community doesn't like, that is indicative of the social media person, not of the company as a whole. Also keep in mind that the social media person likely doesn't just manage one account. They don't have one person managing one account. They likely have one person managing at least 10 because employers would probably hate to hire one social media person per group. Like there just isn't that much work to be done. And at the end of the day, the social media persons are probably not the ones editing the content. They're not really the ones that are doing some of the things that take the most time. They're just going to be posting, optimizing those posts, and maybe getting pictures up and that sort of stuff. So it's not stuff that's going to take them a full day to do, which is why they wouldn't need one social media person per group. It likely will just take an hour or two, and then they would go on and work on other groups. Of course, with that said, I think that the community often puts a lot more emphasis on achievements, awards, and accolades than they put on the actual work itself. And this isn't to say that the community doesn't care about the actual art or work itself. Of course, there's people that do, but I have on more than one occasion seen people listen to a song and the message is very dark and they're writing something like, oh my God, this is so cute. And the song is about like ending their own life. And I say this because it's quite evident that a lot of people just care more about the song ranking high on charts so that they can fight with other fandoms and say that their artist is #1. This isn't the majority of the people in the community, just the loudest ones. Because the label or the label's social media page not posting an achievement of V has no effect on anything and doesn't take away that achievement from him. It doesn't do anything. The only thing that you get from them actually posting the achievement is that you can say, hey, look, this is a legit achievement, the label tweeted out. And so why do you care if they tweet it out or not, other than the fact that it makes the artist look better, when in reality it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away money from his pocket. It doesn't make him less famous. It doesn't take away anything. So to be this up in arms type of angry is interesting. As some of these people, I would imagine when I was looking at these tweets, are at home stomping their feet or steam coming out of their head over something that ultimately really doesn't matter. There were even people going as far as to say that it seemed like V has entirely just left the label and doesn't even work there anymore because they don't even acknowledge him anymore. And I would say that it's worth it to take a few deep breaths, and you can be upset about it. Just not be this upset about it to the extent because it ultimately doesn't change anything about V. There was another cute moment, more switching gears here if you couldn't tell from that. This is the reality show Are You Sure? And this is Jimin and JK's reality show, if you didn't know. There was a moment where Jimin asked JK if his hand hurt and if Jimin could hold JK's hand. And while JK said that his hand did not hurt, JK said that he did want Jimin to hold his hand. And a lot of people took this as very cute and funny, and they really ran with it because they thought it was absolutely adorable. JK even got a little bit upset afterwards when Jimin did not end up holding his hand and kind of pouted and made a cute reaction. This is very adorable, and I find it absolutely so cute when I see these two cute people interact in such a way. Of course, I don't think that this confirms any sort of relationship. I think this was just a cute thing to say because if it was a relationship, then I would imagine that they would have actually ended up holding hands after that, but the fact that they still didn't do that, to me at least, implies that maybe they're not. I don't entirely know. But it's also a funny thing to say, because I've had some friends that I believe are straight, maybe still straight, we don't really talk, that would make a lot of really gay jokes or would say something like this. And if you actually look at a lot of what guys do, a lot of it's pretty gay. Like the whole slapping someone's butt with a towel, the whole grabbing each other in general, the whole obsession with their private parts by even drawing it everywhere. But we don't really consider that as a gay thing, even though if you really think about it right now, as I'm telling you, this is like pretty gay. So we can take this in context when people are shipping two guys together and other people are thinking like this is a gay action, right? But these are just kind of like normal things that are kind of like jokes and part of what guys do. But anyway, we do have another rumor that I want to get into, and the last one for today. But there was this rumor that JK was in the military and he neglected himself and others during a specific training, and he ended up falling a few feet and potentially injuring himself alongside injuring some other soldiers as well. This is an interesting story, and I'm not trying to say that it's 100% not true, but I couldn't find anything about this. So I don't know where this story comes from or why people were kind of talking about this, or if this was like AI news. And this is a term that I made up myself. I don't think it's actually like a real thing, but if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically I've seen a lot of channels and pages just seemingly, in my opinion, like it's someone typing into an AI platform like ChatGPT and saying, can you come up with a story about JK? I haven't heard about him in a while, and they just spit out something like this where it kind of sounds like it would be possible, but then there are facts here and there that are missing that quite clearly wouldn't make sense if you understand a little bit more about the boys. For example, right now, at least from what we are aware of and what we know that JK is doing, is that he's a chef in the military. I don't even know if at the moment he's still doing the training activities. What also these stories tend to lack is an explanation as to how JK messed up or how he caused any particular harm to anybody. I think these stories are interesting and they're totally possible, but I think if there's no actual proof or they can't really show any headlines in the video, I would take it with a grain of salt when hearing stories like this. It's not bad to consume stories like this, but it's interesting when some of these stories surface and then you tend to not know what's real and what's fake. But if someone is popping up headlines on the screen, then you can probably assume that they're at least citing what they're saying, whereas a lot of these sort of AI channels would just say things and then the image may or may not relate as much as to what they're saying. And there are some channels that do this really well and are actually being truthful, but then there are others and a lot of channels that are not. Because the premise of this story that was being told was that JK neglected himself during training or wasn't paying as much attention to himself and to everyone else around him, and then caused everyone to fall. Now, this isn't necessarily, at least in my opinion, a great thing to make up about someone because it makes him look careless, it makes him look bad. I don't see any hate usually from these pages, which is good. Like, I don't see anyone taking these stories and then using it as a way to attack the members. But it's only a matter of time before one of these videos blow up and then it becomes a real story. And that's good and bad. I mean, if it's a good story, then it's fine if people don't know the truth or whatever. Like if it's a story about him helping a bunny, it really doesn't affect anyone if people think it's real. But if it's a story that like this that could potentially be harmful because it's making it seem like he's not good at his job or that he's purposely being neglectful and causing injuries to others, then I don't think people thinking it's true is good. If anyone has found the actual article, and if anyone knows anything and thinks that this is true or saw that it's true, please let me know. I'd love to read it. As always, don't hate, just spread love. And let me know what you think. Make sure you check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you. Bye.